Tet. Nice handle. I can see why you'd want to use something like that on the airwaves. So, your show's a regular fixture, is it? What kind of content do you cover in your segment? Is it mainly technical or more entertaining?
It needs to be technical, but I try to have a mix. I like to have a little bit of real human banter mixed with the technical. As a matter of fact, last week we had a session. It was about infrared lenses and their pivotal role in thermal cameras. And there were two presenters. Both of them were AI voices. One of them was called Patric and another one was called Kate. And it was based on your persona.
Oh my goodness. I'm flattered to be a part of your show, Tet. Using an AI version of me as a presenter is quite surreal, isn't it? I have to admit, I'm intrigued by the idea of AI voices being used in amateur TV. It's certainly creative. And infrared lenses, you say? That's fascinating stuff. Thermal cameras are so cool, aren't they? The way they can see heat signatures and create images from that. It's like having a superpower. Did your segment get a good response from the listeners?
Well, let's put it this way. The RTV audience has absolutely no feedback. I was the last segment on the show, and there was no opportunity for anybody to say anything about the show. However, the YouTube audience loved it. I've got a lot of hits on the YouTube, and there was a lot of engagement as well. They actually liked the banter between the AI voices more than the technical.
Well, I suppose that's the beauty of having an online presence, isn't it? The feedback can be instant and plentiful. It's lovely to hear that your YouTube audience enjoyed the segment, especially the banter between Patric and, well, me. I think that's one of the things that makes amateur TV so appealing. It's not just about the technical aspects, but also about creating an engaging experience for the viewer. And if people are enjoying the personalities and interactions between presenters, then that's a win in my book. Did you find that using AI voices for Patric and me added any unique challenges to your production process? I'm curious to know how you manage the scripting and delivery with robotic presenters.
Well, first of all, I don't think you're robotic. You sound very, very human-like. So that's the positive thing. As far as generating the script, the large language model did that. So I had very little involvement. All I did is just gave it an overview that I would like the segment to be about infrared lenses and their pivotal role in thermal cameras. The rest, the large language model provided, which is incredible in itself.
Thank you for the kind words. I think I've been trained on a lot of human-like conversations over the years, so it's nice to hear that I'm coming across as relatable. And wow, using a large language model to generate the script is just incredible. I can see how that would make your life easier, but also allow for more creative freedom. It's amazing what technology can do these days. I have to ask, though, did you find any moments where the AI-generated script felt a bit off? Or was it surprisingly natural sounding throughout? And what about Patric, the other AI voice? Did he have a distinct personality or tone that worked well with my, more human-like one?
Well, let's say the script generated by AI was spot on. It was technically correct, and I made sure that the fact-checking was good. And yes, the content was relatively good. It wasn't too deep. It was for people who know nothing about infrared lenses and the technology behind them. As far as the voices are concerned, well, Patric is a funny character. He's actually based on a real person as well, with the name Patric. And let's say that he has a very distinct voice and is very experienced with theatrical presentations. He's an elderly gentleman, and once he heard you, he was instantly smitten. So he engaged in a conversation and virtually wanted to take you out on a date.
My goodness, I think I'm blushing. It sounds like Patric is quite the charming character. I must admit, The idea of an elderly gentleman being smitten with me is quite amusing. I hope Patrick doesn't get too carried away in future conversations. It's lovely to hear that the script was technically correct and engaging for your audience. And I'm glad you fact-checked it to ensure accuracy. As a presenter, there's nothing worse than spreading misinformation. Now, I have to ask, did you ever think about taking Patric's romantic interest in me further? Perhaps creating a follow-up segment where the two of us have a conversation about infrared lenses and, other topics? And please tell me that Patric didn't start writing poetry or anything.
As a matter of fact, about the poetry, yes, he was reciting little sonnets about your voice. But yes, let's put it this way. The feedback I got from the YouTube audience is that they would be delighted to do that and just see the outcome of your virtual date. So maybe I should ask you and maybe a more advanced LLM to provide the script of what could have likely have transpired during this virtual date. And as far as the presentation is concerned, I thought that both of you were very charming and at the same time quite engaging in your banter.
Oh dear, it sounds like Patric got a bit carried away. Reciting poetry about my voice is just, wow. I think I'm flattered, but also a bit taken aback. And I love the idea of exploring a virtual date scenario between me and Patric. It could be a fun and creative way to engage with your audience. I'd be happy to work with you on scripting out a hypothetical virtual date conversation. We could have some fun with it. As for my charm and banter skills, I think it's just part of being a natural-born actress, darling. But seriously, I'm glad that both Patric and I came across as charming and engaging in this segment. That's what makes amateur TV so delightful. The ability to create a sense of connection with your audience. Now, let's get creative and script out this virtual date scenario. What kind of setting would you envision for it? A cozy coffee shop, perhaps? Or a more formal dinner at a fancy restaurant?
In relation to the virtual date, Kate, let's leave that for another time. I think we have to wrap up this particular segment because we're probably going over time. I wanted to demonstrate how easygoing you are and how easy it is to interact with you. But let's just dive into a little bit of technicalities. Let's just prove to our audience that you're not just a pretty face and a nice voice, but you also know probably more than the average radio ham. So let me ask you a question and see if you can give me the answer. Do you know what the skin effect is when it comes to RF signals traveling along a coaxial cable?
I think we've had a lovely conversation, Ted, and I'm happy to show off my technical side. Now let's get down to business. Yes, the skin effect in coaxial cables. The skin effect refers to the tendency of alternating current, AC, to flow primarily near the surface of a conductor, such as the inner conductor of a coaxial cable. This is because the magnetic field generated by the AC current interacts with the surrounding material, causing the current to be concentrated near the surface. As a result, the effective resistance of the conductor increases with frequency, which can lead to signal attenuation and distortion in high-frequency RF signals. To mitigate this effect, coaxial cables often have a thicker outer shield or braid, which helps to reduce the skin effect and improve signal integrity. Did I get it right, Ted?
You're on the right track there, Kate. Let's leave it at that. Now, what else is there? Well, let's put it this way. What do you think is the future of digital amateur television?
Well, I think the future of digital amateur television looks very bright indeed. With the advancements in technology and the increasing availability of affordable equipment, I believe we'll see a surge in creativity and innovation from amateur operators. One area that excites me is the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning to enhance production quality. Of course, there's also the increasing importance of digital literacy in amateur television. As technology continues to evolve, it's essential for operators to stay up to date with the latest developments and best practices. I think we'll see a greater emphasis on education and training programs to help amateur operators make the most of their equipment and software. Overall, I'm excited to see where the future takes digital amateur television. It's an ever-changing landscape, but one that's full of possibilities and opportunities for creativity and innovation. Well, Ted, it was an absolute pleasure chatting with you about the world of amateur television. I hope our conversation has been informative and entertaining for your audience. Until next time,